Joining us is General Secretary of Aviation Safety Roundtable Initiative, Olumide Ohunayo. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
All right. We'll come into the Boeing conversation, but let's first have your reaction to the updates regarding, Ethiopian Air stating that they were trying to help the Nigerian Airlines and it was largely politicized.
They were trying to help themselves and not Nigerian Air or the Nigerian public. When they were leasing aircraft to Nigeria, all payments for spares was coming to them, procurement going to Ethiopia, top management going to Ethiopia, going to the Ethiopian team, and the payments and salaries all going to Ethiopia. They were not bringing a dime. They were only using the aircraft that they were bringing and be paying the leases. So they have all to gain. That's the modus operandi. That's what they're using with their model Askari in Togo. That's what they're using with Zambia, with the carrier there. And they were adding up two other countries in Africa. But you see, Nigeria is not the same as those countries. We already have existing domestic airlines. We don't. Our problem is we are yet to move beyond our airspace to have strong, viable international carrier. That's our struggle. But with the models they work with in other countries, whereby all the other countries have a very docile domestic airline, that model will work, but not in our own case here. So attributing the failure to politics is wrong. I think AON was right. They went to court. Why did they come to court to defend the allegations made against them? They were hoping that the former minister was going to browbeat his way and continue with the new government and allow his will to be the way. But what his will was not the Nigerian way. It was more of a self-interest than a national interest.
Yeah, I mean, their business model which they're used to, like you said, has worked in other African countries, so that's probably why they decided that, probably will continue with the same model here. Shouldn't we, blame the former minister for hoping that they would go on with, that same business model or getting into some level of agreement with them to carry on with that same business model? I mean, just before President Buhari left office, we launched a whole Nigeria Air, that was a farce.
Nothing was launched.
Oh, well.
It was just a static display of an aircraft owned by Ethiopian Airlines to show that the Nigerian Air was existing on paper. And I tell you, that aircraft operated a domestic flight for Ethiopian Air about 3 hours before it departed for Abuja, did the static display and went back and continued with the flight to Somalia. So it was not a Nigerian owned aircraft, but a man that was departing, a man that was sinking, they needed to deceive Nigerians. But unfortunately, this is a country whereby public officials are not allowed to face consequences of their action. And even when they want to face the consequences, this long trial and judicial process kills the spirit, and in the process you see them negotiating their way out of. I think the former minister need to get behind the door to answer some of his actions in office, because it was a monumental failure in office. Almost all this roadmap did not come to fruition, apart from the Abuja University that should be merged with the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology rather than waste public funds. But for the Nigerian, it wasn't a clean deal. It was meant to pivot the minister and his cronies, and those were the private investors they got. They even sent people to Ethiopia for training, pilots and engineers, cabin crew, and they were all from one state. And that was supposed to be a national carrier. They were all from a section of the country. So that, I think it was a project that was destined to fail, and I think it has failed. I think what we have, and you begin to wonder, you have Arik Air and aero contractors who have all the facilities on ground, who have aircraft. When you combine the aircraft in these two organizations, you are looking at a minimum of 5 aircraft. These two organizations are being managed and owned by AMCOM, the Asset Management Company of Nigeria, owned by the federal government. So if you are eager to build a strong carrier, the first option was to go to AMCOM, where you already own, where you already have assets. You only have aircraft, you have personnel, crew, land, equipment. So what were you looking for extra when you could have just built on that? But Ego made them say, no, I'm not going to work with you guys. I'm going to start my own, and my own, I'm not Nigerian. We're going to start it own, name it Nigeria, and him and his colleagues are going to have shares and work with some Ethiopians and the project consultants who are going to make Nigeria and take a Commonwealth through the bilateral service agreements that are in place for national carriers.
All right. Let's move the conversation away from that update to the Boeing agreement. First of all, what are your thoughts? Are you excited about the MOU? This development, of course, does come after a month a month after Boeing agreed to plead guilty to criminal charges, criminal fraud conspiracy charges. So are you excited about it, and does it raise any concern for you, especially because of the criminal fraud conspiracy charges leveled against Boeing?
Well, the criminal conspiracy leveled against Boeing has to do with safety-related issues, which is different from what we have gone to discuss with them here. What we went there for is access to aircraft, both new and old, training, provision of engines, equipment at good rates to the industry, not to the airlines alone, and also generally to improve access to the Boeing equipment, aircraft, engines, and all that work. That's what this agreement is all about. And when you ask my excitement, I'll say that I would rather tarry. I would rather wait until when the implementation starts. This is not the first time. But now, the way we are going there, in the past, Boeing has been here twice with the whole team, promising that we're going to do the same thing we are seeing now. The most important is we're going to set up the MRO here. MRO here means the maintenance, repair, and all organization that will be used to repair their Boeing and other aircraft rather than taking them out of the country. We've had this visitation from Boeing about 2-3 times in the last 15 years, and nothing has been done. Rather, they went and set up in Ethiopia. So this time around, the minister for the first time went with almost the whole aviation ecosystem, airlines, ground handlers, and other, even the engineers, and to ensure to sign this deal. I just hope it will move from that paper table to fruition and let's say in actual life. But in the past we've seen that this time we are going there. They've been coming here. They've been here twice. When the South people wanted to move into Airbus and nothing has happened. So I just hope maybe this time around they will change. But Airbus is already coming to you. They will be with Ibom Air. They're going to run the maintenance repair organization. So let me see whether that will now ginger them to say, well, it's better for us to give Airbus a fight in the West African space. Maybe that will ginger them to come. But it shows the potentials have always been there. There's that power that Nigeria has, that zeal to move, but then things have not been working. Maybe I pray, maybe this time around things will change and Boeing will move from the paper, from signing and the documentation to the reality.
Well, time will tell. One of the things that would be questioned is whether we actually need these MOUs or these relationships. If the Nigerian aviation sector can survive on its own and can achieve these things without necessarily getting into agreements with Boeing or with Airbus or with anybody. And so, do you think that it is very vital for the Nigerian aviation sector at this time? Or can the aviation sector thrive through other means to achieve pretty much the same standards and achieve the same goals without getting into these partnerships?
Make no mistake. There's no airline or aviation-related company in the world that can go it alone. You need partners to get good rates. You need partners to help you bring down your cost of leasing and insurance, because it is those partners that would vouch for you based on the business they've been doing with you, and that helps your rating and helps you get good deals in the market. If you want to go beyond your routes, the routes you have on your schedules, then you need partner airlines that can take you point beyond. And again, if you need to set up a maintenance repair organization in Nigeria for aircraft for air to come in, you need these partners who would definitely eventually certify your maintenance hangar. And this is after this, it's after the certification, you are sure others will bring their aircraft in. So, and because the industry is dominated in dollars, you just have to meet with international standard. There's no Nigerian standard in aviation. It's an international standard you would have to meet. So when you have international standard as the benchmark for an industry, then you know you cannot go it alone.
All right.
But then will this change? That's what we pray for and what we want to see.
I think my final question would be regarding how Festus Keyamo has fared so far. When he was first appointed to be a part of this cabinet. Remember that there were a number of people who casted doubts as to his capability. In the past 1 year, some would argue that he's come as some form of a disruptor. There have been new policies, there have been movements so far. So what's your position, and how would you rate how he's performed so far?
I thought you were going to save me from answering, from coming to this, from getting to this question. But now that we are here, I think we would just have to deal with it. I don't want to use the word disruptor. Don't let's get carried away with that. I've noticed that his team spends so much time on social media, even in the past, before we had not stopped criticizing them, before memos came to the agency, it's already in the social media and being signed and showed on this social media. The industry don't run social media. There are rules and regulations there, and there are the technical industry that are binding with regulations of international ICAO or so you need to align with those rules. And one of them is non-interference with safety-related issues. I repeat, non-interference with safety-related issues. The grounding of Ghana was not right, was wrong, and that has already contributed to the high fares we are seeing right now. That was a gross interference for the minister to direct. The is supposed to be autonomous and not controlled by anybody within the industry, and that has effect on us. We are battling now to restore our Category 1 certification from the FAA, and if we don't get it, we might have issues when we want to start operating into the US. So that's it. But I must give it to him in the sense that he has shown the tenacity that that's what we call Nigerian first. That I must give to him is about. Compared to the immediate past minister who was lying through the teeth and deceiving the world that he was doing things for Nigeria while he was running for himself. He has shown comfort with the airline operators. He's been helping and pushing their case, and I think that's a good one for us. But the next thing now is to see how we can get foreign direct investors to come in. But he also needs to calm down because yes, he's a lawyer, and being a lawyer and a senior advocate makes him feel that if you cannot tell me what to do, I know the regulations. And one of those regulations was the one he breached concerning the grounding of Ghana, and the other one now was asking writing directly to airline helicopter operators and introducing a very scandalous fee, which was rejected by the industry, and now he has conducted negotiation. So I think he needs to consult before running to the public on all issues.
All right. Olumide Ohunayo, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to having you join us again.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.